All right, we're back in the Classic Motorsports Workshop. Today we're gonna talk about chrome. So Chris brings this bumper to me. He says, hey Tim, what do you think we should do with this thing? Do you think I gotta replace it? Do I have to re-chrome it? What should we do? And I said, you know what? Good question. Let's talk a little bit more about chrome today. So in addition to this Volkswagen Beetle bumper, I brought out a few other chrome pieces in different conditions so we can kind of talk a little bit about when to re-chrome, when to fix, when to replace. So let's start with this door latch. And as you can see, it's in pretty bad shape. There's nothing you're going to be able to do to fix this. It has large pits, so this will need to be re-chromed. So what I did, instead of spending the money to re-chrome this, chrome work is quite expensive. I found a good used door lock on eBay for, I think I paid $150 for it, and you could say, wow, that's a lot for a door latch, but it would cost more than that to chrome that piece. All right, so how do we know what has to be re-chromed and what doesn't? As I said, this latch, this is toast. That's gonna have to be re-chromed. So this bumper, as you can see, it does not have the huge pits that this latch has. So what I would do with this bumper is give it a quick cleanup. And again, other than these spots, which I think will come out, I don't see a huge problem. I mean, a part of what you have to decide is, are you trying to go to a concours event, or are you just trying to make a cool car on a budget that you can take to a cruise in? If that's what you're trying to do, I think we can get this bumper looking pretty good again. All right, let's talk about all the expensive exotic equipment you need to restore this bumper. Honestly, I mostly just use a pad of steel wool. You can augment that with a lubricant, either just a quick detail, or depending on if you've got paint on the bumper, I would use thinner or lacquer thinner, or you can use a little compound, but generally that's not even necessary. Yes, the process is quite complicated. You just rub the hell out of this thing with a pad of steel wool. Now, one thing, you want to use 000 very fine steel wool. You do not want to use a coarse steel wool on a bumper. But as you can see, this horrible, ugly bumper is coming out pretty well. We'll come back to these little spots that are actually blemishes in the chrome, but I think we're going to be okay with this one. Let's talk a minute about this black strip. This is actually just a tape strip. You have a few options. If you're careful and it's not in bad shape, you can leave it. Assuming it's original, it's probably the best way to go. If it's savable, we can put a little stuff on it later to make it look pretty. You could just paint that, just get some satin black and paint that, or you could lay down a new piece of tape. Those would be your three options there. Another thing you need to think about before you go through this process is, what does it cost to replace this bumper? This is a Volkswagen Beetle. A pair of them is only about 250 bucks. If this were a Mustang bumpers are only about 100 bucks. But if it was a TR6 Triumph rear bumper, they're unobtainium. 914 Porsche, you'd pay 600 bucks for a used one, so keep rubbing. The next thing we need to talk about is the back of the bumper. Pretty much no companies chrome the inside of their bumpers. So they tend to rust like this. If it gets real bad, it goes all the way through and will come out through the chrome in the front. So here's what I normally do with a bumper like this. I would just wire brush it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just trying to get the scale off. So we've taken it, and it's got a much more smooth, satisfactory surface. Once you wire brush it, you could clean off the inside, use thinner, you could use prep sol, but honestly, I use CRC's brake clean for a lot of stuff like this. At this point, you want some kind of a rust prohibitive or rust preventative paint. This Eastwood Rust Encapsulator is great. This one happens to be clear. We're trying to make this a little nicer cosmetically, although this does come in different colors, including primer. But this hammered Rust-Oleum look, something I had in the paint cabinet, should work perfectly. You want to work in a well-ventilated area. You want to wear a mask when painting. You don't really need to worry about masking it, overspray. If you get any overspray, you're just gonna go back over it with a little steel wool. It's not a big deal. One thing we didn't talk about, and it's not a situation on this bumper, but you'll often have little dings, dents. So if a bumper was bent, I would probably try to mount it, or at least put it in a vise, and try to tweak it. I mean, bumpers can be pushed in, that's pretty hard to fix. Bumpers can be tweaked a little bit, that's pretty easy to fix. And then what's common is to have some dents and dings. So obviously you have to be real careful working with chrome, but if you take a rag, put it over your hammer, you can gently try to hammer out little dings and dents. You can go both ways, but you need to put the rag over the chrome surface. Can you fix everything? No, but you might be surprised with a little patience and go easy. Don't start really hard and heavy on it. Ding, 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 and then harder as you need to, hopefully not bending or hurting anything worse than it is. You can definitely scratch chrome with a hammer. One thing that's come out recently is, at least I learned about it recently, is these liquid chrome pens. My detailing buddy Tim McNair from GP Concours shared this trick with me. These things work amazingly well. We can use it around this bolt hole. You know, this is going to be covered by a bolt, but you don't know exactly where the bolt will cover. These pens are available at any hobby shop or a crafting place. Yeah, I like this stuff better than the chrome paint that you can get in a spray can. I mean, you can use that. I haven't had a real good luck with it, both from a durability and from a visual standpoint. It doesn't really look like chrome to me. And finally, you need to protect what you've just done. You've used steel wool, so you've taken that down and taken any protection off of it. I like this Pro Honda spray. It's available at any Honda motorcycle store. It just kind of cleans, polishes. You could use any wax. I mean, as you wax your car, you could just use that wax on the bumper too. But I like that Honda Shine is what we call it. So here we are in less than an hour. We've got this bumper looking really great again. We did it for pretty much nothing, just with stuff we had laying around, except for that chrome pen, which is about 10 bucks at a hobby store. If you like this sort of stuff, we're doing it every week in the Classic Motorsports Workshop. Subscribe to our channel or go to our website, classicmotorsports.com, to learn more.
Support brands that support Classic Motorsports. Get your chemical solutions from CRC Industries. Visit crcindustries.com to learn more.